Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we're going to be talking about the possibility of Solo 2, the Acolyte and more. So without much further ado and without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. So we do have a lot to cover today and we're going to be starting with Emilia Clarke, who recently spoke about a possible return to Star Wars. If you guys remember, recently I spoke about how Qi'ra has made a surprise return in the War of the Bounty Hunters comic series, and it sparked a lot of speculation about Qi'ra returning in live action, either to the Book of Boba Fett or the Lando series. Well, today my friends, we have two pieces of remarkable news, and we're going to be starting with the interview with Emilia Clarke. According to this article, as opposed to the titular character having his adventures explored in a number of ways, Solo a Star Wars Story's Qi'ra has only earned a fraction of the backstory, with Emilia Clarke recently confirming just how excited she would be to reprise the role and how much of the character's history she crafted on her own. Given that there are years in Qi'ra's history that remain unaccounted for, and with the film teasing a partnership with Maul, Emilia Clarke is just as passionate about pursuing her unfinished business as fans are in seeing it. In her own words, she says, "I really had pages about what her life was and what it would be afterwards." When asked whether she was most interested in reprising the role of Qi'ra above any other character that she's played, Clarke confirmed she's the one that has the most unfinished business, so I would agree with that. A significant amount of attention being paid to Qi'ra is a result of the comic series War of the Bounty Hunters, whose debut issue culminated with the reveal that Qi'ra had stolen Han Solo and Carbonite from Boba Fett. Understandably, this sparked not just excitement from fans to see the character, but speculation that Qi'ra could be returning to the franchise in a more significant way. When Emilia Clarke found out about her return to the comic series, she said, "It means so much." She added, "I know her backstory, I know her history. Maybe the movie didn't get to go there, but that was such an honor and privilege to be part of that universe." So then, to see the character actually be taken to the origin of all of it, bringing it on home to the family in that way, cemented it in a sense. So from this interview, it seems very clear that Emilia Clarke is very keen to return to the galaxy far, far away. Now this is where things get interesting, because back in February and now very recently, Jordan Mason claimed that Emilia Clarke is deliberately playing coy with the press. According to their rumour, she's already been approached and plans already in place for her comeback. Now I have stated multiple times in the past that a likely option is the Book of Boba Fett, since her character has now appeared in the War of the Bounty Hunters. But it could be that Lucasfilm are secretly planning an upcoming sequel to Solo a Star Wars Story. And so here is where our second piece of news comes in, because we now know that Alden Ehrenreich and Joonas Suotamo, who played Chewbacca, both state that they want to come back. And let's be honest, we could all use some more Chewbacca in our lives. Let's keep these legacy characters alive and thriving in the Star Wars universe. In January, Alden Ehrenreich was rumoured to be making his way to the Mandalorian, and just like with all of these reports, we can't say for certain which show these characters are going to appear in. But also huge, guys, is the fact that Kasdan has already got treatments for each crime syndicate after the events of Solo. So it really seems like in terms of the logistics, everything is set up. All that's left, of course, is for Lucasfilm to greenlight it, if they've not done so already. Personally, I would be happy with a Solo sequel, but I would be just as pleased to see these characters show up in the Book of Boba Fett or the Lando series or somewhere else. But what do you guys think? Do you want to see a Solo sequel? And do you think we're going to see Qi'ra again very soon? So now, my dear Mandalorians, we're going to move on and talk about the Acolyte. This has been making its way around the Star Wars internet space in the last few hours, and I thought I would chime in with my own opinion. Basically, a lot of Star Wars fans are worried about the upcoming Leslie Headland series because of a recent interview that she gave. In it, she says that the show is going to be explicitly political, and some of the writers are newcomers to Star Wars, and they haven't even seen the films. So let's take a look. This is from IndieWire, and they write why Star Wars series The Acolyte hired writer who's never seen any Star Wars movie. Leslie Headland is best known for directing raunchy comedies Bachelorette and Sleeping with Other People, and also for co-creating Netflix's Russian Doll, which definitely makes her an invigorating and unconventional choice to be a showrunner on a Star Wars series. Headland is behind Star Wars The Acolyte, which Disney confirmed last December as part of its series expansion. Not much is known about this series other than it's being set during the final days of the High Republic, an era which predates the Phantom Menace by 200 years. With the setting not so beholden to the Skywalker saga, Headland believes that she can take more risks with her writers. And this is what she had to say. "Mostly what I looked for were people that I felt could execute a great script, number one. And then in the job interview, just really talking to people who had different life experiences than I did, and had different connections to Star Wars than I did. She candidly admits that she did not want a Star Wars writer's room full of Star Wars diehard fans. She said says it was important to mix writers with different connections to the franchise. There were people like myself that were like later in life Filoni acolytes. I literally had one writer that was like, I've never seen any of them. I've never seen any Star Wars media. And she's texting me before we started the room. For Headland, writers unfamiliar with Star Wars were only a plus. She says, it was so great because I would really love to know from someone who is not fully immersed in this fandom, what do you think about the pitch we just made? So while she did her due diligence and did a lot of background work and research, at the same time she was somebody that we would kind of talk to and say, okay, so if we take all of the kind of signifiers out of it, and this is Star Wars version of X, what does it mean to you? She would be able to give some feedback while I'm kind of wondering what's going on with this character, and in this scene I'm wondering why so-and-so isn't saying this. So that was what I really wanted, an active conversation between my writers and myself, and not so much a room full of people that would kind of automatically agree with what I say. Okay guys, so here's the thing. I completely understand the concern that fans have. We want writers who know Star Wars inside out on these shows, for example the likes of Jon Favreau, Deborah Chow, Dave Filoni, Robert Rodriguez, you name it. But in this case, Leslie Headland deliberately wanted people who didn't know the franchise so they could add a fresh perspective. So here's my take on it. While I would really like to say this is a refreshing idea and maybe could even add some innocence to the show, it's a very, very risky strategy because so many things could go wrong. Star Wars is not like any other franchise. You can't just come into it brand new and expect to be able to write an entire show about it. But there's also a part of me that thinks maybe, just maybe, this is what Star Wars needs. After all, this show has no bearing on the Skywalker saga, so even if it is risky, a new show that is something brand new might be a welcome surprise. I'm definitely willing to give it a shot, and I wish Leslie Headland and all of her team the absolute best with her show, and I can't wait to see it. If you choose to read the entire interview, you'll see that there is a very bracing inclusivity about her approach to Star Wars. And what I believe is that Star Wars is for literally everyone. All fans are unique, we all come from different walks of life, let's embrace that. But as I say, let's give her and the series on the whole a chance and not prejudge it too harshly. But let me know your thoughts of this in the comments down below. So I want to finish today's video by discussing some thoughts about The Bad Batch so far. I've seen a couple of channels on YouTube make videos about their thoughts on the show, and I thought why not do the same. So I'm just going to jibber jabber a little bit about the first 8 episodes and where I think the show is headed. I will also preface this by saying that if you're new to the channel, please be sure to check out my full episode breakdowns and explained videos where I go into far more depth about each episode. So as far as The Bad Batch is concerned, it's been pretty incredible so far. A lot of fans like to highlight the last 2 episodes as the best ones, and while I do agree, I think the series has been consistently good throughout, including the first 6. Needless to say that while episodes 7 and 8 were intense, the show needed those early relationship building moments. In the early stages of the series, advancing the plot was compromised for character development, and it worked really well, because we have to remember that the show is 2 seasons long, and therefore can take its time a little bit to get to the point. Now that we're approaching the second half of season 1, things are definitely going to get more intense. I've made theories on Rex, Omega, and Clone Force 99, and now that Cad Bane is in the picture, I think we're in for quite a showdown. My own personal prediction is that we won't see Omega for a couple of episodes. The Bad Batch will probably consult Sid on Ord Mantell and may even get in touch with Fennec Shand, who may be able to help. Concerning the situation with the Kaminoans, I definitely think Nala Se has ulterior motives to the Prime Minister that she works under. Let me know if you guys want a theory video expanding on what I mean. And finally, we can't forget about the Empire. Rampart has begun Project Warmantle, and with Crosshair injured, I can definitely see him being discarded by the Empire. Are we about to see a redemption arc for Crosshair? And a larger question, is there going to be an uprising on Kamino? We have so many questions that we need answers to, and I trust in Filoni and all of his team to provide us with some juicy answers. But what do you guys think, and what did you make of all of today's news? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed it, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new, and also be sure to check out my Patreon, the link is in the description. Otherwise, I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you all a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.